What is going on? I have anxiety. I'm not sure if you do or if you have any type of episodes coming up that you know of and or you just woke up that way because this morning I woke up that way. Imagine waking up and having 3,000 thoughts. And I'm saying imagine like you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sure that you do know what I'm talking about because that's why you're here. That's why we talk. That's why we go through this. And for me, today was just a very, very hard fucking day, anxious wise, like anxiety wise. It kind of shut me down. Not to the point where it was like depression, right? Depression is different. And I believe you saw those swings in episodes about 2 weeks ago. This one was like just 1,000 thoughts, 1,000 what ifs, and 1,000 how comes, and 1,000 am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Is this worth it? Am I supposed to be here? What's the meaning of life? Am I a good dad? Am I a good husband? Am I a good person? Do I do this too much? Do I do that too much? And if that sounds like you, well, then hang on tight because that's what we're talking about in today's podcast, episode number 164. It's not going to be a long one, trust me, because I put this podcast off for at least a day, and now it may be perfect time, a day and 12 hours. Right? Usually I do this on Saturday, and that's when I want to do it, but my anxiety was so high. I don't want to say so bad, right? Because I feel like that when I say like my anxiety feels bad, it doesn't make me feel any better, right? I'll just say my anxiety is high. And even just doing that one thing eases the anxiety. It doesn't fucking cure it, right? There's no cure. If you listen to the podcast about Inside Out Part 2, and everyone now is talking about this movie. So if you haven't seen this movie, go check it out, especially if you do deal with this stuff. It really is good. And the one thing that I know is that I cannot control it, right? I'm not in control. I'm not. But I can control how I react to it. I can control how I take it on. And for me, I took it on a little differently today. And that's the things that I want to talk about is how did I simplify the processes of what people tell me to do? Because we go to a therapist, they're going to tell you to do the XYZ. You're going to read a book, they're going to tell you to do XYZ. Plane's going to go over my head. I'm going to do XYZ. What I did was, instead of saying my anxiety's bad today, I go, damn, my anxiety is high today. My anxiety is high. I just took a judgment out, right? Take the judgment out of the emotion. Right? The emotion is anxiety. I feel like shit. I feel overwhelmed. I feel fucking like a piece of shit. I took it out instead of saying that's a bad thing. I just stated that it feels pretty high today. And then what usually happens is I don't want to do shit. Right? And I didn't want to put anything on me, but then the guilt that comes with that is the tough part, right? The guilt of not being productive, the guilt of not doing things that you said you were going to do, the guilt of not following through with the plans that you had in your head for the week. That guilt will destroy you. You know, it will beat you up further and further and further down the line, as it does me. So the second thing I do is I just don't shit on myself the entire day. Instead of putting all these to-do lists or things that I have to do on my day off, like for myself, like the podcast and thumbnails and storylines and everything, and then life, and then training, and then programs, and then online programs, and there's a lot. And then the what ifs. What can I do? What can I do to be better? What can I do to be better? What can I do better? What can I do better? What can I do better? Better. Be better. I just shut that fucker off for a little while. I shut that guy off. And what did I do? I watched TV. And I didn't feel bad about it. Of course, I'm going to go back and forth and swings of like, you're a piece of shit to you deserve this. You need this. Right? It's a battle back and forth, ping pong and back and forth, pickleball and everywhere. But that's just part of the process. The only thing I can do about this without medication is to ping pong it and learn to cope with these feelings, these high emotions, these low emotions, these surreal thoughts that just plague the mind. And I just watch movies. I put on mindless movies that I can enjoy. I wanted to snack today, so instead of being like, you're a fat piece of shit, you're gonna do this, and all the ED stuff comes into my mind, right? It's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? I just had some snacks because it's only a day, right? I know it's only a day, and accepting that fact that it's only a day and it's gonna go away. You just gotta kind of ride this wave. That's all we can do. And I put up a post on my shorts was Method Man. I listened to Method Man from Wu-Tang. If you don't know Wu-Tang, you know shit, by the way. Method Man talks about depression, how he lives with it. And he says there's nothing he can do. He can just ride the wave, right? It's exactly what it is. There's going to be ups and downs, and him just riding through that depression and riding through his anxiety is the only thing that he can control. And it makes tons of sense because it really is the only thing we can do. And for me, like, I'm a very go type of person and a go-getter, right? But there's a lot of times that you got to shut that off, because when does it stop? When does more stop? When does I need this more? I need that more. I need to look like this. I need to look like, when does that stop? It's never going to stop. So for you to be at that full throttle every day, I always think like maybe anxiety and depression is just a way for God to fucking tell me to stop. Like when you work out so much and you're doing too much and you finally get injured, and it's like, listen, it's either you're going to stop working out hard or I'm going to injure you. And now it's like that forced break, of that needed break. A lot of times we don't give ourselves the credit that we deserve, because we do work hard. We do our things. We take care of ourselves. We take care of others. And that does take a lot of energy. I wonder if getting shut down with a depressive episode or overstimulation of anxiety is just a way of our body being like, yo, chill out, take a breath, and let this day go by, because you'll feel way better tomorrow. And that's how I have to look at it. For this episode, I'd love to go over 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, but I feel like there's no reason to, because the only thing I have to tell you is what I told you right now. If I tell you any more, I just have a question for you really fast is, what is it you're going to do? Right? What is it that you do? Because I need help too. I don't think my way is the one way. I don't think any therapist's way is the one way. I don't think anything else's one way is one way. What do you do in moments like this? Do you push through it? Do you overstimulate more? Ooh, God bless. God bless me in live. Or do you shut it down and hide, or do some self-care stuff and some DBT skills? What do you do? I'd love to know. I'd love to know, what is your secret to conquering anxiety? What is your secret to fighting through your depression? What is your secret to slow down? And if you could comment me that would be fucking fantastic, because there's nothing more I'd love to know than any of those questions. Make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see you later.